Hi guys, welcome back to this channel. In this video, we are going to look at the topic encryption. Now, let's look at the meaning of encryption. So we say that encryption is the process of converting information, information or data. So this information is called plain text into a secret code called ciphertext. And the aim is to protect the data from unauthorized access. Now, encryption does not prevent these data from being intercepted. These data can be intercepted, but even if it is intercepted, the data will be useless or meaningless to whosoever intercept the data. So the purpose is to make sure that whoever intercept the data does not understand the data. So it is to protect the data from unauthorized access. Now, an encryption is important if the data is sensitive or confidential. For example, data like our banking details, bank account, medical records, legal records, and so on. So we can use encryption to protect these data. Now let's use this diagram to have a visual understanding of encryption. So this is the sender and this is the receiver. The sender sends a message which is called plain text. A key is applied to this plain text. Okay, so this is where encryption takes place, and it turns the text into a cipher text, which means a meaningless text. Now, when this meaningless text gets to the receiver end, a, a decryption key is applied, and here decryption takes place. So after decryption has taken place, the text will be changed back to the original text, which is the plain text, and it can now be understood by the receiver. So that is how encryption works. Now let's look at the types of encryption methods. So we have symmetric and we also have asymmetric. Okay, let's look at symmetric encryption first. So symmetric encryption uses an encryption key. It uses just one encryption key to encrypt and decrypt the message that is being sent. It uses the same encryption key to encrypt and decrypt. Let's take for example, we are sending this message, computer science is exciting. Now, and this is the encryption key. So if we apply this encryption key 4 to C, so it means we have C, D, E, F, G. So it changes C to G. If we are applying this encryption number to O, then we have P, and then we have Q. So this encryption key, when it is applied to this text, it changes the text to this data. And even if this data is intercepted, the data is meaningless to whoever intercepts the data. So this is how symmetric encryption works. Now, when this data gets to the receiver, the same key will be used to decrypt the data back to the original data. For example, G. So we know we are using 4, so it just needs to go back. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sorry, 1, 2, 3, and then 4. Then we have C. That is how symmetric encryption works. Now, what is the limitation of symmetric encryption? Even though symmetric encryption is simple and fast, it comes with a major drawback, and the major drawback is key sharing. Now, remember that the data that has been encrypted, the encrypted data will be sent, and also the decryption key will be sent. So if the same individual hijack or intercept the data and also intercept the decryption key, then the data can be decrypted. So the problem is keeping the encryption key a secret. This is the issue of symmetric encryption. So to solve this problem, then we use asymmetric encryption. Now, this method is developed to overcome the security problems with symmetric encryption. Now, how does this work? It works by making use of two keys called public and private key. So every user will have a public and private key. Now, the public key is available to everybody. Everyone knows the public key of a user, but the private key is only known to the computer user. The private key is only known to the computer user. So the public key is used to encrypt the data, and the private key is used to decrypt the data. Let's use an example to better understand how asymmetric encryption works. So let's assume that Tom wants to send a confidential document to Jane. So Jane creates a pair of keys. Okay, remember Jane would have a public key and a private key. Now these two keys, they are mathematically linked together, but it cannot be derived from each other. So Jane sends a public key to Tom. Now what Tom now does is Tom uses this Jane public key to encrypt the data that is to be sent, and then sends the ciphertext to Jane. So when this ciphertext gets to Jane, then Jane uses the private key, which is a matching key, to decrypt the ciphertext, and Jane is able to get the original text that was encrypted by Tom. So this is how asymmetric encryption works. Okay, thank you guys so much for watching. Please do not forget to like, share, and subscribe.